What's poppin' world? Back at it again with another video for y'all. Y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast, and as y'all can see, I'm on my way to work. But that aside, y'all read the title. Let's get right into it. Does hard work really pay off? Or is this just some kind of facade? Well, one of my favorite words in the dictionary is balance. And I feel like balance can be synonymous with nuance because it's relative and subjective, right? Does it? Well, I guess it depends on your definition on payoff, right? Does it pay off? Does it really pay? Well, depends on what you're trying to achieve. And is it more than money? You know, because there's more variations of currency than money. I feel like money is a more tangible currency, but intangible currencies, as far as respect, notoriety, character, confidence, discipline, right? Things that are very hard to quantify. So you would have to ask yourself, who are you trying to be at the end of the day? What are you ultimately trying to achieve? And why I say it's subjective, because if you ask every person, more so times than not, you're not going to get the same answer. So if hard work pays off, are you trying to achieve success? And what does success look like? Because I feel like success is another subjective word. You know, it could be relative depending on your circumstance, because you can own a lot but be behind, or you can only own nothing and be ahead because nothing is tied to your name. You don't have no responsibilities, no obligations. So the question would be, is that, let me clean up this mirror real quick, man. Get y'all right real quick. All right, that's as good as y'all gonna get it. The question would have to be is, what is your motto? What is your mission? What is your purpose? What is your potential? I feel like answering these questions would then correlate to if something really does pay off. Because me personally, as far as what I would like to achieve, just having a 9-to-5 is grateful and appreciative as I could be about having a 9-to-5. Long term isn't going to get me there, right? So it just really depends. Some people don't have the aspirations for wealth, fame, status. Some people just have the self-worth, or don't attach their self-worth to a lot of tangible things, right? Because if you were to look at it like this, is that you go after to what you feel like is most valuable. And when you play the compare and contrast game, it can really get murky, right? Because there's always going to be someone that has more. There's always going to be somebody that's doing better. And even if you're the best at one thing, it's really hard to say you're the best at all things. So Yet again, you would have to ask yourself, what means the most to me? What am I trying to achieve? And as they say, is the juice worth the squeeze? I know I just rhymed on that. I know that's a bar and all that. No, let me stop playing. But on a serious note, this is why I would tell most people, keep your dreams in your dreams. Because when you're trying to dream out loud, some people could be appreciative, and some people could develop a resentment towards it. And that aside, just keeping the main thing. Are your aspirations is it worth it, right? Because with most things that are obtained, sacrifice has to take place. Putting in time, energy, discipline, mental fortitude, lack of sleep, sometimes even compromising your health for wealth. Is the trade-off something that you're willing to take? Are you willing to take that risk? Because most success comes with risk. Some success, you could get probably at the top of the game, but in an entrepreneurial sense, it takes a risk taker. And the first step is usually the best step. So you would have to ask yourself, does hard work really pay off? Yeah, it's relative. It's honestly relative, because whether you're an entrepreneur, there's entrepreneurs that's basically still middle class, lower middle class, but maybe they have the luxury of, just freedom from a managerial standpoint. Like, hey, I'm my own boss. So it's a lot to think about. It's really a lot to think about. When you really put two and two together, it's kind of hard to wrap your mind around. But that aside, hard work pays off to a certain extent. I feel like effort without strategy, you're only going to be so effective. That's truthfully my honest opinion with that. You're only going to be so effective. Not to say you're not going to be effective at all, but I feel like the strongest skill set out of even effort is consistency. You're going to go further giving 1% of effort 100 times over giving 100% one time. Because the person that gives 1% 100 times develops the mindset that each stage is better than the next. It's a different mindset, right? If you're thinking long term, if you're thinking how to outlast, is to understand that, hey, it's a marathon and not a race, as y'all heard that saying before. So be very intentional with what you do, but at the same time, don't try to get everything right at one time. Piece by piece, little by little, brick by brick, slow and steady wins the race. You want to apply effort. You do want to give it your all. I know that kind of contradicts itself, but if you can give your all, give it your all. But if you want to be more, okay, so there's two different, and I'm going to leave it at this point. Two different mindsets. There's effectiveness and there's efficiency. So if you're giving effectiveness, it's going to require a lot of effort, right? Because that's where you feel like the most results can be quantified within a short amount of time. If you're giving efficiency, then you're looking for the best way to get the maximum results using the minimal amount of effort. This is where those that think like this is able to diversify and wear many hats, because they know how to be efficient with their energy and not just channel one thing in one place at one time. But over time, that's an advanced skill set. I feel like if you're not disciplined at all, I wouldn't recommend you being efficient, because you haven't built up the muscle memory to diversify your responsibilities. Just focus on one thing and be great at that one thing. Then as you master that, then you move on to the next thing, and then the next thing, and then at that point, you would be able to be consistent in various ways. So I have to ask the question one more time. Does hard work pay off? Yeah, I guess it does pay off. Only if you have a plan. If you have a plan, you should be able to be in a position to where it pay off. And at least a plan that makes sense. But that's all I got for y'all, man. Hopefully y'all have a good day. I'm about to head into work. Comment, like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm gone. Catch y'all on the next one.